Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet the founder and CEO of a game-changing tech company in the physical rehab space. We'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, we probably have all known somebody, or maybe you've gone through physical rehab. You had an accident, you had surgery where you needed rehab after the surgery. Well, there's a game-changing technology company that has just been honored by the Dallas Business Journal, our media partner. And you're going to meet the founder. She's the CEO, Veena Somareddy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. And the company's called Neuro Rehab VR.
Yes.
So tell us how this all started for you.
Yeah, definitely. When I came into the country about 10 years ago right now, working on my game design and development course. And as I was going through that, I received an internship at a company called Intuitive Surgical, where they create robots for surgery. That really opened up my mind into, okay, I can take my technical skills from computer science and game design background and can use it for healthcare. And that kind of just kept percolating in the back of my head. And I started to build these MVPs for other people's ideas. And when I built them, it was great, but it was not really going anywhere. So I decided I will start my own company someday. And luckily, I received a call from a person in Fort Worth that had a clinic that wanted to really add virtual reality for the patients that were there. His son had an anoxic brain injury, and he was doing whatever he can to help his son get back his limb function. Wow. So I just went in, started to build these virtual reality therapy exercises that are immersive. And as soon as a patient put on the headset on their head, they were excited, they were having fun, they were motivated. And then it certainly brought back a little bit of that agency a lot of these patients lose when they're have had a stroke or a brain injury. And that was the inception of the company.
I'm so impressed with you. We're going to scroll down her website. So when you put on these VR headsets, you're given different options. Like, I want to take a trip to the grocery store, or what are some other vignettes that you have?
So you work with a lot of patients who've had neurodiagnosis, strokes, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, Parkinson's, and everybody is going through different phases in their life. So we have a library of therapy exercises for physical therapy, for gait training, ambulation. So you're walking through a really nice pathway, collecting coins, or you're in a grocery store learning how to go grocery shopping again. So that was actually one of our patients, an elder gentleman that had a stroke and wanted to be able to go grocery shopping with the grandkids. So now you can process your visual input, process audio input, and also haptic feedback while you're in this virtual grocery store, and feel safe, and then take that learning and transfer it to the real world.
And I want you to share more about that story, because he was really one of your older patients, 86 years old at the time.
Right.
And you told me before the show that he wasn't a fan necessarily when you first handed him the headset.
Right. He was withdrawn. He was a little grumpy and did not want to try virtual reality, as a lot of people are not interested in technology. But as soon as he put on the headset, we were trying to explain to him what he's seeing, what he has to do. But he's like, yeah, it's a grocery store. And he started to extend his hand, pick up items from the grocery store, putting in the cart, extend his hand really high up and actually move forward in his seat, which his son told us that he'd never seen him, actually bend forward in his seat, because he was always afraid of falling off his chair.
Wow.
And he did that in virtual reality, because what happens with him and other patients is they forget the bias of the diagnosis, what they cannot do. And that's a barrier. It's both a mental barrier and a physical barrier. And when you take that away and you're in this different scenario, people forget and they start doing things they've never done before. And that's when, even for therapists, they're like, this person's functional level is at a very different stage than we actually thought about, and then they can bring them back to their optimal recovery.
Well, I think you're incredibly successful to be so young, because you actually started working on this when you were still in college at UTD. So that's very impressive. We found a great explainer video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Augmented and virtual reality experiences were only dreamed of just a generation ago. Today, they are a reality, and these experiences mean way more than having a little fun. The innovation experts at Neuro Rehab VR are applying virtual reality technology as a rehabilitation tool for a wide range of patients with neurological impairments. Through various immersive 3D environments, patients can work on cognitive as well as physical therapy at the same time, instead of doing each in isolation. Neuro Rehab VR products provide engaging, fun, motivating, and customized therapy exercises for each patient based on their diagnosis. To learn more about virtual reality therapy, please visit neurorehabvr.com, email us, or call the number on your screen.
It just looks like everybody's having fun. I mean, they don't even know they're going through rehab.
And that's the best part about it. We made a little montage video after we had worked with several patients, and the one word that we kept hearing was, "That was fun, that was fun." And when was the last time anybody heard physical therapy was fun? Right. And for us, it was not just that. It's, it's fun, plus we're giving them clinical outcomes and going that small step towards independence for a lot of our patients.
And people look forward to it.
Right, exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Are you working with a lot of clinics now?
We're about in more than 50 locations across the U.S. in about 33 different states in health systems, outpatient clinics. We also work with the VA, and we recently received a contract with the Air Force too.
That's amazing. And you just got honored by the DBJ. I think it's a Women in Technology Award. Tell us about that. That has to be a highlight for you so far.
Definitely. It's been amazing being in Dallas, building a company in Dallas, and having my alumni, UT Dallas's support, and also Dallas Innovates, DBJ support throughout my journey, and really exposing what we're working on, and then honoring that. It makes me feel like home, and then want me to keep building and actually save as many lives as we can.
Wow, I'm so excited. You're also very good at putting out videos. I found a video that I particularly like. It's a road trip that you took a little while ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I recently embarked on an exciting road trip across Central Texas, visiting 5 of our amazing customers in just 2 whirlwind days. It was truly inspiring to see firsthand how virtual reality is revolutionizing patient therapy and making a tangible difference in so many lives across diverse healthcare settings. The dedication and creativity of these healthcare providers in implementing our virtual reality technology to improve patient outcomes is truly remarkable. It's moments like these that remind me how far we have come as a company and the real-world impact we are making. To all of our customers, thank you for your trust and partnership. We're immensely proud to work alongside you in revolutionizing neurological rehabilitation. Here's to many more adventures and breakthroughs in virtual reality therapy.
Veena, it's so genius. I wonder why no one thought of this before. So nobody had used VR to help people going through physical rehab?
There are some other companies out there, but we were definitely one of the first ones to start this project. And there are others who are working more on the pain side of things, mental health side of things. But it's extremely hard to build virtual reality and to make sure to build it for the population that we're building. And that was a mistake that we did early on. And I've spoken about this previously. When I built the first application, it worked on me, it did not work on the patient, because the way they move, their functional level is very, very different. And if you've heard, like, every brain injury is different from one another. So we had to make sure that our applications and exercises are highly customizable for that patient's functional level.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the therapist is trying to do. And it's different for each one.
And let's talk about the impact on the brain. So you mentioned just physical rehab, but it really is kind of, you're exercising your brain, aren't you?
Definitely. We follow the concepts of neuroplasticity with everything that we build. We've done a lot of literature review that really shows that making these repetitive movements, but also thinking about it, you're making that mind-body connection that you might have lost when you had your stroke incident. So you're creating those neural pathways, and that's one of the our effort towards physical rehab, where we are connecting both the body and the mind. So that's why you have both movement, but also visuals, cognitive feedback, visual feedback, everything that will help with that recovery process.
Well, and I think we all know people who are getting older and they just don't get out of the house anymore, and they're not exercising, and they're not exercising their brain. They're kind of watching TV all day. So you have to be very proud that you've created a life-changing device.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And if you've heard the stats recently, the number of people who are growing 65 and older is growing faster than the U.S. population.
Wow.
So we will have a lot by 2040. I think 1/3 of the U.S. population will be 65 and older. Some of them might be leading sedentary lives. So we're hoping to at some point get it also to individuals that can work on their cognitive, stimulation, work on physical therapy at home, so that they're able to live a good life.
Yes. Okay. So where do you see this going? I mean, are you overseas right now, or is that the plan?
Right. We're not overseas at the moment, but we get a lot of inbound interest from the Middle East, from India, from Singapore, different places across the globe. And everybody's really interested in what we're doing. We're trying to focus on the US market at this point. And 2025 is going to be a transformational year for us. We're already proven the product. Our therapists love it. Our patients love it. And right now we're trying to go from 33 states to all the 50 states in the US, and as well as, touch as many lives as possible. We've completed more than 50,000 sessions with our patients, and we're hoping to get to that to 100,000 plus.
And how often are you there when they try the headset for the first time?
I still, even as the CEO, do a lot of onboardings, and that's one of the reasons I did the road trip that you all saw. So for me, I will never get tired of people putting on the headset and having that magical feeling the first time. And for us, and even for the physical therapists, we make sure that their experience with our device is also really great. So it's easy for them to pick which exercise, look at the data. And we have a new product we came out with last year. We'll write the documentation for the therapist too. We can decrease the amount of time they have to spend writing documentation by 50%. And we have seen there's 92% increase in motivation and engagement by a patient. So at the end of the day for us, it's all of these things plus providing that agency and independence for a lot of these patients, especially after a stroke incident. And I've been in these hospital systems where they're told every second what they need to do, and they have lost that agency. And for us, we want them to be able to pick which would they like to go grocery shopping or go to Paris instead today. And you see that smile back in their face, and they're excited, they're motivated, and they want to do therapy.
Yeah. Well, I love how your face glows when you talk about this, because it's not just a job, it's a calling, it's a mission for you, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yes. We are almost out of time. So, Veena, final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Yeah, I think when we started this, it was just in the back of my head, how can I take my skill sets of technical skill sets in a healthcare setting and transform something that's traditional into that's more innovative, but also make it feasible enough that can be used in a clinical setting every day. We're not making it harder, we're just making it easier for everyone to reach those outcomes. And I think we are there. And our mission for, as we go forward is, depending on, we don't care about anybody's socioeconomic status, we want them to have access to therapy and then be able to recover to the point that's optimal for them so they can lead a happy and independent life.
That's awesome. You're giving people their lives back. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with your website, which is
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. NeuroRehabVR.com. Veena Somareddy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.